All right, so welcome to episode 1177 of Love Serve Care. And like I mentioned on yesterday's episode, this is going to be something quite different, something unique, a one of a kind, maybe a one-on-one and never to be done again, because I'm going to be spending more than 3 minutes doing something that I love to do, something that's incredibly important, which is acknowledging people. Why? Because myself and the wonderful people on screen with me right now who just recently attended this event called the Ultimate Experience, which is version 2. I like to call it 2UE. And I'm going to be sharing my stories, breakdowns about the, what I experienced in that time in Arizona. But I'd love to just hear from your beautiful people. Like what did you come into the experience looking for and what did you walk away with?
Mm, good one. Well, for me, I love that. I know setting the intention was we were invited to do that by Judy, and for me, it was just staying open, not having experienced another live event with the Ultimate Experience group or the Being movement. I just was open for whatever was going to happen and not have, that sounds funny, not have any expectations, because I just wanted to let it just uh, come all in. I wanted it to come all in. Speaking of the opening movement with Sonika, I was just all in. That
Yeah.
was my intention.
Beautiful. Awesome. And thank you, Liz, for sharing that. Allison, I don't know if you have anything you want to share or
Yeah, I definitely loved the invite to set an intention, which I did. And I was, I knew when I woke up the morning that I flew out to Arizona that I would never be the same person coming back to the house. I had that feeling. And I almost had to say goodbye to the old part of me because there was something I was leaving behind. And, that the familiar self, you almost have to mourn it. So I knew that I would not come back the same. And that's difficult. And as a possibility, it could change my life. So I knew that when I left.
yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm just gonna dive into my story as I uncover things and whatever pops into my brain, we'll play with, right? Because you this is more kind of a reflection and even more so than acknowledgement. So let's play. Thursday morning, right? Cold, brisk North Carolina air. No, kid, I'm not going to set the stage like that. My ultimate experience started off perfectly,
Mm.
and I've never had this experience on a flight before. So I was next to this beautiful couple. So I want to give a quick shout to Joe and Simone. And when I say literally from takeoff to landing, we were engaged in conversation. Like the entire time talking about life. We talked about death. We talked about the event itself and then the intention of what we were going to do for Operation Underground Railroad. And they were sharing me their life stories. I mean, it was just this really beautiful conversation. We literally had like a 5 hour be with together on the plane. Like I've never had that before. And I should back this up by saying during the night, like leading up to it, I didn't get great sleep at all. I got to sleep a little bit late, packing, all that kind of stuff. So went to bed around 11:30. The intention was to wake up at 4. One of my dogs started barking at around 2 in the morning. So that interrupted that and make sure I had to check on them and couldn't fall back asleep. Wound up waking up like at 3:30 and just getting the day started. So I'm exhausted. I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm gonna sleep on this plane. This can be awesome. And I'm next to this woman, and somehow we just strike up a conversation. Every time we were both kind of like, all right, you know what? Let's let each other rest. It was like, oh, have you heard this podcast? And I had this thought, and right. So it was interrupted like that, but it was so incredibly worth it, and I'm looking forward to continue building on the relationship with them. As I get to the airport, the first person, once we land in Phoenix, right? First person I see is Gabby. So I want to send a special shout out to her because I've never heard her speak on stage before, and she was dynamic. Like she was one of the huge highlights. I mean, we had some amazing speakers top to bottom, but her love and ferocity was something else I was like, whoa, okay, that's a Puma right there. She is not playing any games. And I just wound up seeing her in a corner, like in the airport. I was trying to fix my bag and eat some breakfast because I was starving. I didn't eat all morning. And I just happened to see her walking by with like a red jacket. I'm like, Gabby? Check Alex. Imagine get the hugs on. Liz, I see you. The bear is here. There you are. What's up? You still connected to audio and all right. The one and only Liz Forrest is on here. I hopefully I didn't break your ribs at the event. You're fine. You uh, it's funny watching like because she can't answer back yet, so she's like what? She's connected to audio.
Yeah.
Liz, what's up? You're muted. Oh my goodness.
Hey, how are you guys? I joined
Good.
audio and I'm like, oh crap, I can't hear what they're saying. So I just got it on. So
I don't know. We were just
I'm
giving you
like,
the
I'm
secret of
listening.
life. Yeah, that's all right. You
Oh,
missed. No.
I missed nothing. I've just actually been scrolling through and just trying to catch up on some of the posts and stuff. So, so much awesome stuff. Oh, and so many amazing people that I met. Elizabeth,
Yeah.
you were one of them. Alex, you're one of them. Woo-hoo!
Yes.
Allison, I'm not sure who's even down there in the corner.
Well, let's go to Allison Kurt. She's
Hurts. Okay, perfect.
yeah, she's
Yes.
moving out and about. Yeah, but
Yeah,
as I
awesome.
shared with the other ladies, this is just me kind of rambling, going through like what I experienced from the event, and I'm gonna go through well, a list of folks and just acknowledge one by one, and that's the game. That's what I'm playing.
Love it. Love it.
All
Love it.
right. So
I'm
Meg
gonna
at
mute
the
my kid.
airport. Oh, say what?
I said I'm gonna mute myself so my kid's not being loud in the background.
Oh, it's all right. Thank you. Appreciate it. So then I get to my hotel room. I want to connecting with this woman Kenyatta Turner, so I want to give her a shout out. She didn't attend the event, but she's part of a group of another coaching group that I co-lead, the BIPOC Coach Collective. And she lives in the Arizona area, and we kind of arranged, not formally, but I was like, hey, I'm gonna be in town. Hopefully we can meet. And she wound up picking me up from the hotel so we can drive out to lunch. And I met up with Vicky, with Eric Lofholm, um with Candace and Laura McNern. So if you saw that picture in the group, the six of us at that table, it was an awesome spot. Great food. Mm, good stuff. But they missed out on not having tropical cheesecake, and I'm mad about it. And I will be heated to the day I die until I come back to Arizona in August for an event. And I want to give a shout out to Juan, our bartender. He wanted to take some pictures of us, and he was a really nice guy too. We had a good conversation. So he's part of the experience as well in some capacity. So from there, Eric dropped off everybody. I had to stay around at the restaurant for a little bit. So I'm sitting around outside, pretty exhausted at this point since I only got a little bit of a power nap once I got to the hotel. And he picks me up. We drive over to the venue, and that was intended to be a setup and kind of bless the room, right? So myself and the rest of the speaker, most of the other some of the, yeah, most of the other speakers are there. Steve's there, and we're talking, we're chopping it up, and we're setting things up. We're moving sage around. We're holding hands. We're saying prayers. We're sending our intentions in this really beautiful sacred circle, and we just had some. It was just a really fun moment. It was really great to be in that space and just kind of that calm before the storm, right? The room's empty, the production crew's there. They're giving us kind of the rundown of what's gonna go down, and we're all heat up, charged up, ready to go. And that's the almost the end of the night. And something really awesome happened during that night. That was Thursday night, where I put in the private chat for the speakers, like, hey, I'm gonna need some help getting to the event. Who's gonna pick me up, like, or who can help me, something like that. And this dude, Sachin Sharma, right? I've seen him on Facebook. I know his profile a little bit. I know he's worked with Vanquish. I know he's working with Steve, and I don't really know him. And he raises his hand. It's like, hey, give me a call. I'll help you out. Like, okay, this is the kind of caliber of folks that we have here. And we arrange everything, what time he's gonna pick me up. And this is how much of a champ he is. He's like, hey, do you need any water? Do you need a protein shake? Like, I got you. I'm like, say less. Bring the protein shakes because I love going to events and going to the gyms. That's how I judge. That's why I secretly judge a hotel on my mind. Does it have a good gym? And obviously, late at night, nobody's there. I'm like, oh man, it's like a private workout for me. Nobody's in there. And so it was definitely worth it. So Sachin, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate the ride. We have a great time in his Benz and recorded some fun videos of us just cruising around being silly. So day one, here we are. Registration. And you can imagine nothing was really going right with registration, at least not how I envisioned it, where we had several folks volunteer. So Liz, I want to thank you for your service. Elizabeth Canty, I want to salute you for your service. And my
Yeah.
lady, the Forest, for bringing yourself and bringing your presence to the event. And it was freezing cold. I just shaved my head, so I'm extra cold. It was not hot Arizona time. So I'm gonna go through this list now because this is where it makes most sense for me. I want to like break this down one by one. So these are real registration sheets. This is the stuff that was on site. Like I got all the stuff here. So I'm gonna go do this by table. If I miss somebody, I'm gonna disclaimer. If I happen to miss somebody, I am sorry in advance. Didn't mean to. It's not intentional. There's a lot of people. We had like over 250 people. It's a lot of folks. So this is gonna take a minute. All right. At table one, my table, I want to give a shout out to Ankush. What a powerful talk you gave. Loved the thoughts about being on being, right? And just your story about potentially being abducted at some point and really anchoring in what our fundraiser was about, right? About these these boys and girls being exploited, being trafficked, being harmed in several different ways, and how real that is that that almost was you. And thank God it wasn't you, and thank God that you were able to be here with us and share your story and just make the impact that you make in the world of coaching. So acknowledge you for that. Aina Khan, man, so awesome to see you at the being on business panel, right? You, Rich, sweet Caroline, Caroline Hughes, and, and Sarah and Nani, the voice, the brush. That is how you have to say her name. It's it's an inside joke with me and her, but she appreciates it, I think, at this point. She's like, "Oh, he's just gonna say it every time, so just let him run with it." And my guy, the best name in coaching by far, Rich Habits. I mean, that's they had an awesome panel. So I acknowledge all of y'all for what you do, who you are, and especially you, Rich. I loved your talk. I love the fact you did not squirt us with I don't know if it's like a baster or whatever, the injector thing. Thank you for not getting us soaking wet and getting a lawsuit from us US folks. All right, back to the table. Eric Lofholm, man. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate the ride. Appreciate how we got a chance to connect because at the first event we kind of saw each other. We didn't. I botched your name on the first one. I like wrote it wrong, so I was kind of feeling bad about that for these 2 years. So glad that we kind of cleaned that up. Dave and Penny Orden. Let me tell you something about Penny. She had the nerve to act like she didn't know who I was. And maybe it was I'm teasing. I teased her for the rest of the thing. I was calling her nickel. I was calling her dime. So if you heard me call her that because Penny, right, nickel, dime, right, I'm just being silly with her. But yeah, it was great to finally meet y'all in person. My man Dynamite Dave. I mean, the guy had being on his back as the jersey. I mean, come on, he's down for the team. Oh yeah, Eric's daughter Sarah was there, so amazing for a young lady like her to show up and even had her first speaking moment on the stage. That's a
Yeah.
big deal. That's not something that's easy for a 28-year-old, 38-year-old, let alone an 18-year-old. So salute to you for for having that moment. The sky's up only from here, only for you. Who else was at the table? I think that was it. So on to the next page. Table two, the one, the only Steve Bacon. My goodness. I wish I could express how much I appreciate you, man, and how powerful your talk was. I mean, that was something unique, something that was incredibly heavy. And this is gonna have me jump ahead, but I think it bears saying right now. And I don't know if you all experienced this, right? The difference with like day one, day two. Day one, at least for me, how I experienced it was like super light in the sense of like, it was powerful, right? But Chris Smith delivered a beautiful talk on parenting, Ray Fall sharing his book. Oh, God, there's so many speakers. I'll probably remember as I go through this list, right? So it was really more of like that really heart energy, like the lightness, right? And then day two happened. And day two was like a sledgehammer of ooh, some stories, moments, talks. I mean, it was yeah. And for me, I loved it too because that's the duality, that's the polarity of being, right? There's the light, there's the dark. And who are you going to choose to be in those moments, right? It's easy to be loving, kindness, generous, patient, all that stuff when things are going right. What about when everything's falling apart, when the world is against you and people are taking advantage of you in different ways? Phew. So, Steve, thank you for being you, for sticking around, and for anybody who was there, you understand what I was talking about, where you uh where you didn't take yourself out of the game too early. Well, thankfully that gun didn't jammed and all that stuff. So, and shout out to you and your beautiful wife, Kamini, and for your baby girl who's coming soon. So she got to be a part of the experience. I'm sure she was feeling the love through the belly, right? Uh, Shout out to one of the sponsors, Jim Becker. He was at the table. Man, what a loving guy. What just a beautiful person. I mean, amazing hugs, amazing spirit, energy, sharp with the outfits, but here, right? Not just like I'm sponsor man, blah 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 blah. He was really engaged into everything. Carl Edwin, my girl Alex Jones was there. John Patrick. I don't know if we call him JP because I feel like he's like a banker, like JP Morgan. Great talk, man. It was great to finally meet you because I've seen you online, never got a chance to actually meet you, give you a nice bear hug, and you're like a brick, man. You're solid. So shout out to your personal trainer, whoever you do for your for your workouts. Becky Robbins, oh my goodness, what a beautiful woman. What is just a powerhouse in this little itty bitty frame. When I saw, I was like, oh, she's like so small. She's like a little, I want to put her in my pocket. She's so tiny, but she's got so much depth and uh, so much power out of just this little battery. And yeah, and so it was really great to meet her. Every time she was walking by, she was like, give me a pat, give me a nudge. I was just like, I'm Siege. He feels me, right? It's just one of those nerdy things for me. Um, Kasudi, whew, he's all about
Mm,
purpose. He's all about purpose.
yeah.
I mean, the moment he walked into the crowd, I was like, oh man, this guy knows how to move people. He's got it. He's got the thing. I love the videos. I love him sharing his journey of where he was at, right? Guy masked up, guns, drugs, jail, all the stuff that you're like, man, this kid, hopeless. Throw him away, nothing to do. And he rebuilds his life and turns himself into something with a creation. And the thing that I noticed the most, that was the most important thing about you, Kasudi, was how much you talked about your mother. I saw you had the your camera turned on so she could FaceTime and watch what was going on. People who, when you were up for speaking, they had her on the screen, so you included her in that conversation in this experience too. So definitely a shout out. And then obviously the king and the queen of the event at the table, Judy and Eric. If I go on about y'all, we'll never get out of here in an hour. Just know that I love you both. I love the stand that you both were with me, for everyone else in that room, especially that the last part of the event, right? Of Eric just when I call him Captain Stud Muffin, right? These are my nicknames for him. He's POP, the Professor of Possibility, and also Captain Stud Muffin, because like that was it. That moment when he enrolled everybody to commit, we had, and for folks out there, we set a goal to raise $100,000 to donate for Operation Underground Railroad. And by the end, we were pretty far short, and we could have just been like, wow, we raised $57,000. Woo-hoo, good job. Go home, no harm, no foul. There wasn't 57,000 before that. And it's gonna go to a good cause to fund to support several missions. And with that in mind, hopefully rescuing as many kids as possible. But Eric took the stand for us and he said, this is nice, but it's not what we committed to. And one after another. I don't know who the woman's name was who's willing to give her wedding ring up. I mean, you talk about people being committed. That's what this experience was about. And we got to 111,111 So all the ones you can think of are committed. And I pray that whoever did say yes, right? Not just because they felt the peer pressure or wanted to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Like, say you're gonna do it and actually do it, and that would be a beautiful thing to see. And I want to give a shout out to the representative from Operation Underground Railroad, Carlos Maza. What a powerful stage presence that you had, and he scared me to death. So this is what happened the morning of. So I'm jumping into day two, right? We have been emailing back and forth. I was the one tasked with making sure that somebody from Operation Underground Railroad either sent us a video or got a speaker. That in itself is could be like another hour conversation of just negotiating and going back and forth with them and not reaching people and almost giving up and then just continuing on, right? And the morning of, I'm going back and forth between the venue and outside for registration. I'm looking for him. I got his badge. I'm like, where's this guy? It's 8:56. Sammy's pulling me along to get things going. We have the countdown on the screen, all the different things. And literally at 8:59, I feel my phone ring. I see his name. I'm like, oh, I run outside. I see him right away. I'm like, get inside, get here. I'll like drag him backstage, and we were able to make it happen. I got on the stage to kick off that. Well, I kicked off day one and day two. And day two, I said what I said and brought him on. And quick insider knowledge, I botched that because I wasn't supposed to bring him on. I was supposed to do something else with Eric. So Sammy, sorry. So if you heard me shouting sorry, Sammy, or whatever, that's what it was in reference to. But she's a good sport, and she is like the event producer or producers. Like Sammy, queen of the castle. Like no one can mess with you, no one can touch you. Michael, shout out to you. Steven, shout out to you. The rest of your team, I'm sorry I forgot your names, but dude with the beard, you were cool. And somebody else was really awesome too. But I appreciate y'all for what you did because being a part of the first event and this one, it's like a night and day. And the first one was incredible. I mean, it was the ultimate experience. That was the number one. And
Mm.
this one was just in outer space. Like it doesn't even make sense how this all came together and y'all put it together. Table three, of course, the man and the woman, right? The first lady of being like king of the castle, the guy who's on paper whose life is in here, but obviously for those who read the book and understand the I don't want to say methodology, but understand how to read it. We'll understand that it's not really about him, it's about us. But I still want to acknowledge him anyway. Steve Hardison, mentor for me. Uh, man, I love that guy. I love him. I love Amy. I love his family. They've done so much for me. And here's a funny little story that happened at the event, right? So day two, we're having lunch, or the lunch table that's outside. So, oh yeah, shout out to Roman from Sapien Food Kitchen. I forgot to shout out them from the stage the entire event. So sorry, Roman. Apologies, man. It just happened. And shout out to Thrival too, Dr. Jason Colbert. He reminded me, like, he had the beautiful Thrival bars in the gift bags on the table. Anyway, so Steve is looking to get lunch. He doesn't he doesn't do Venmo, or he didn't understand how to do Venmo, and he didn't have any cash on him. So I'm like, all right, I'll pay for your lunch. Flip the 20 for him and Amy, like no big deal, right? And he's like, oh, I'll pay you back. I'm like, how are you gonna pay me back? Like, you've given me way more than $20. Like, can I just buy you lunch, right? But he wound up paying me back later that day, which is hilarious. I'm like, this guy charges 200,000. But I get it. That's his level of commitment. He says he's gonna do something, he's gonna do it. So Steve, thank you for the 20 bucks and went to good use. I got some souvenirs for the kids with that. Um, Moving along, your sister Teresa was here, so it was great to finally meet you in person, Teresa. Olga, ah, love from our coaching group, and it was great to meet you. So nice to finally get to see you in person. My man, brethren, Matt Clemmer, right, man with the dreadlocks. Um, what a commitment of that 25 years. I asked him, how long did that take? He said 25 years. Sheesh. That is that is 24 more than I would be willing to do in my life. Probably 25. But no, he was a solid guy. It was great to meet him. I never knew about him before. I'm glad I did now. Nan Glauser, great to meet you. We had a really fun moment. I forget who was speaking, but a chair was open. And I was like, hey, do you want a chair? Do you want to sit? She's like, no, I'll stand. I was like, all right, I'm gonna stand with you. And I just wound up standing there next to her for the rest of the talk. And we just, had this like beautiful embrace. Kai and Cardell Henderson, I knew about her, but I didn't really know her. But I've seen her in the group a couple times. I didn't know about Dell, and he was my air guitar brother. Once we got the "We Will Rock You" jam playing on, so he's definitely like, I don't know, he's a distant brother somewhere. Like, I'm gonna have to take a paternity test or something, because like me and him are related somehow. Like, there's no way that we're not. Like, somehow we are in the same universe somewhere. So table four, I think Liz Forrest was at that table. Yeah, table four. All right, so my man Alok, my coach, my guy, man. Let me tell you something about about Alok, right? Me and him met. Now it's gonna be almost 6 years ago. I was at a different state of or phase of my life. I was working for a coach, and he was part of their team and doing enrollment things. So I would see him at the big events, twice a year. And we started to build up that relationship, but we didn't really know each other, right? So I say all of that because back then it was like super heavy marketing, come get it, bro. Right? Bro marketing to the T. And fast forward these years later, like we're both like in this being spiritual space. It's hilarious that we both came from like this background, and here we are reconnected all these years later. So I'm proud to call him a brother and be a part of his movement, and him supporting me with what I'm doing as a coach and building my business. So Loke, my lady Annette, who's part of the team, I call her Madre Millions for the Uplift Millions team. Appreciate you. Angela and Carla, let's go. Man, Angela had one of the best talks. I I mean, I knew a little bit about her history. I didn't know all of that, and that was like mind blowing to see how someone can come from those kind of circumstances, and and just turn their life around and make a difference. And Carla, you as her rock, as her, yeah, as yeah, her rock, right? That's appreciated and noted and recognized because it's not easy, right? When you have somebody who's a big personality, big energy, and you can just, right, kind of get them back to earth. So salute to you. Want to give a big shout to the Alaya family, right? Abigail, Edward, and the Triple A. I mean, are those girls not the cutest? They were at the first event, and during one of the session or during one just like a quick little break part, I was doing my thing as the main MC for that. So I was jumping in the crowd, putting a mic in front of people, asking them questions, and then I spoke with the girls there, and they gave some beautiful answers. And then just to see them on the stage in front of hundreds of people, sharing their documents, creating themselves on the stage. I mean, these are our future leaders right then and there. These three little girls, just amazing. So love them. Shout out to y'all. Oh my goodness. How much time? Okay, I'm gonna try to run through this because it's a lot of people. All right. Keith Branson. This guy didn't even know, like, does not, he's you talk call me Big Bear. Like he's the bear, he's the grizzly. I'm like Cub. But it was great for him to be a part of this event. Fari, and thank you for sharing your thoughts the about chapter 35 about love. Charlene, I mean Shailene, see, it botched your name. I knew her name, but botched. Um, Fellow North Carolina native. So great for you to be here. I'm glad that we were able to work out. She wound up buying my one of my VIP tickets since my best half wasn't going to be able to make it. So I'm glad she got a chance to scoop up that ticket, be a part of the event, and we and her had some great conversations afterwards. She gave me a being journal, so salute to you, Shailene, and looking forward to further discussions. The Mars family, let's just say they're out of this world. I'm not gonna go through all your names because there's 22 of you to name, but I'll just start with Jerry and Marianne, like the matriarch, patriarch of the family. Thank you all for attending. We appreciate you. Cassandra and Scott, thank you for your presence. Vanessa, thank you for being willing to serve and help with registration. It was great to meet you. Buenos dias. All right. Moving along. Table 6, Dr. Aaron Bennis. Man, if I've never been more jealous of anybody's abs than his. No, but all jokes aside, what a really lovely man. What a strong presence. Love how you shared your document on stage, brother. Acknowledge you for that. Oh, my man, Sam. Sam, I am from Otherland, UK. It's always great to see you, man. One of the skinny dude, but powerful hugs, man. It almost hurt me. I almost threw my shoulder out. So great to see EPEC. We have been connected for several years in different coaching circles. So finally great to see one of the hosts of the podcast. And I already mentioned, well, yeah, Caroline was really at my table, so I claim her. My brother Saint Moritz Lambert. Oh man, great to finally meet you. We were part of a group that worked with Rich Habits the year before, and my man's got the moves. Him and Judy's sisters at the end, they were doing like all this pop lock stuff, and I wanted no part of it because I was gonna pop out a shoulder blade or something or a collarbone messing with them. Jim Wilcher, man, great to meet you, brother, man. What an interesting guy you are. And I mean in a wonderful way. People be like, oh my God, he's interesting. What do you mean by that? He was solid people, solid people. And I already mentioned Judy's sisters, Marty and Susan. The Gilmans, man, I love your demonstration, right? Tell me, I need, I have, I want, right? What a great way to share that with this. Oh, this lady at this table, Elizabeth Canty. Canty. Oh, yes, it's Elizabeth Canty. I think I said this off camera, but even I'll say it again. I'm just glad that you and I finally got a chance to meet, see each other. I know we had some plans that fell through as far as connecting virtually, but you know what? It's all good. We were meant to meet when we were meant to meet, and I'm just happy that we got a chance to hug, got the chance to talk, and looking forward to staying connected with you. My man Jamil, we part of a me and him have been connected for a while too. Uh, Solid guy. Loved his interview on the podcast, and yeah, just a really loving guy. I was the first person that he saw. That he saw at the event. Like when we came to registration, I was like Jamil, and like before he knew it, I was on him, and and I was like, I think I was one of the last people he saw, on his way out of day two. So good to see him. Man, the fire starter Sanika. You want to talk about boom, right? Talk about man, what a guy. I mean, what a man. There we go. Sarah Townley, the Pink Panther. Do 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 do. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, she was the lady in the pink dress on day two, and so now she's gonna be the Pink Panther for me forever. Even though she wasn't at this table, I want to give a shout out to Mary Turner because if you were there at the kickoff for day two, she was the wonderful woman that I screamed at to stop talking at the back of the room. I was like, Mary, stop. And I see her like look up. She's like, oh my God, he's talking to me. But I can do that with her because we had this relationship. But yeah, I love her. She's a powerful coach for nurses. Andrea Vosler, thank you for being you. Thank you for just your love and energy. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention. I did mention Vicky, but I want to share a quick story about Vicky. I don't know why. I think Andrea, Vicky, the names got into my head, but this is how cool Vicky Abadesco is. She serves so powerfully. So on day two, I'm at the registration table and she hands me breakfast like it's a egg, egg, avocado, and maybe with some bacon in there. I don't remember, but egg and avocado biscuit and then some fruit. And I'm like, I didn't ask her to do this. I didn't, she didn't tell me she was doing this. She was like, hey, Alex, I bought you breakfast. What? Like, how cool is that? And it was needed too because I was starving. And if anybody knows about eating at events, it's usually going to be like chips or something like that. It's going to be just like garbage hotel food for the most part, but not with Thrival because they got us bars. And look at that sponsor thing right there. I'm plugging them, but no, all jokes aside, Vicky, I really did appreciate it. I was really touched by that because it meant a lot to have that. So other folks, my man Austin Kennedy, kind of a awkward, quiet guy. Now, I say awkward, but like, just a quiet guy. Like, he's not a coach, he's not in the space, but he's somebody interested in developing himself and has been doing that work with different books and different mentors he's been in connecting with. And yeah, me and him just had these great quiet moments of leading people to the VIP dinner, the next day being at different just bumping into him at different spaces, and he was always willing to like help out. Like, Alex, what do you need? Excuse me, how can I help you? So I appreciate that, man. I honor you for that. Ann Cole, wonderful to meet you. Damian Costa, my man. That is Brooklyn bacon, right? If you had Bishop Bacon on day two, Damian is his Italian counterpart. I mean, what a storyteller, what a magnet for possibility, and he's got a great story, and he's going to be doing great things in the world. So you heard it here first. Nostradamus declared it. He's going to be on an ultimate experience stage at some point, and I can't wait to hear him. So Desiree E, and then there's Desiree C. Great to meet you both. My man Andrew Lampa, aka Champa, as I like to call him. He gave me a ride back to the hotel on day two because everybody was going to like an after party, and I recognized something for myself that I've been around all you beautiful people, had this fun time, but I hadn't been with myself, and I just needed some time to just decompress. Had an early flight, Sunday morning, and I thought I'm just gonna go back to the hotel room, pick out some food, and just kind of soak in what just happened. Because, like I said, day two was the sledgehammer day, but me and Andrew had a nice conversation, nice ride home, and we even took a fun video, so I put that on the group too. Kathy Poda. Oh, ugh, queen of the documents. What a what an awesome force she was. I mean, she was everywhere from grabbing, getting the money, doing the Venmo, helping with registration. I mean, I thought I had energy. She is rolling. So, Kathy, salute to you. Angela, beautiful to see you. Great that we had our conversation months ago, and really happy that we had a chance to meet in person. The author, Cheryl Smith. I can't believe I got to see you twice within like a 4 or 5 month range. And great job on the panel. Great job just being you. You know, anybody I was every time I saw you, like I had to hug you because it's like you and Caroline, like you were just drawn to you, drawn to your energy, drawn to like who you are with your story. So thank you for who you be. And I don't know this person, MJ, so I'm sorry. I just shout you out MJ, but I forgot who you are. I'm sorry. Just apologies. Sorry. All right. I want to give it to my comrade Tanya Alvarez and her daughter Angelique. Thank you for bringing her. Amazing young lady, 2021, working on herself, looking to expand. And Tanya, LTSG. That's all I gotta say. She knows what it is about. Terry Cornish, great to meet you. Charlene, the I don't know if the Jeans family was here, so all right. David and Violetta, if you were there, great. If you weren't, sorry. Uh, I don't know. This isn't, I'm just going based off checks and stuff like that. So hopefully it's right. Whatever. Nisha, good to meet you. And looking forward to our conversations in the future. I'm gonna butcher this name and apologies in advance, but Misun or Mysun, young Asian lady. Thank you for attending. I'm sorry I didn't really get a chance to say hi to you or connect with you, but I saw you. I know who you are. I seen you. So I appreciate you. One of the other speakers who was unbelievable, Jennifer Nielsen. Wow. 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 I cannot wait for these recordings to become available for the public because anybody who wasn't in that room, I mean, if you we should have had like 10 boxes of Kleenexes on the tables because like her story, her advocacy for herself and for other survivors is unbelievable. And so I just want to salute you. This is the virtual hug, giving the hug from here. My lady, simply Marthaless, Martha Jeffers. I mean, how do you how do you see her and just not want to like just love her, like take her with you somewhere? Like I know that sounds messed up. We're talking about human trafficking. Not take her, but you know what I mean? Just all right, I botched that. So I was like, Alex, what are you doing? You're supposed to be combating this thing. You're not supposed to be advocating. No, not take her, but just you want to just be in her presence. What a warm, loving person she is. Gabriella and Kai, love y'all, love your family. I love that you brought I love Gabriella bringing her grandma, yeah, her grandmother, her mother to the event and her sister, right? They hadn't seen each other. I believe the story was that they had taken a paternity test like months before and just finally started to kind of get reconnected. And they actually met in person for the first time, like a couple days leading up to the event, and them meeting her and Kai's children. I mean, talk about whew, being in like a vacuum, right? Bina, thank you. Shout out to you. Really wonderful to meet you and can't wait for our future conversation. Sherry, thank you for being a part of this. My man, Jamin, Eri, I love y'all and acknowledge you for how you rolled with the punches as the audio cut out. We had a black or not a blackout, but power shut down around the building, but we were on this massive generator of sorts and we didn't lose power. We didn't miss a beat, but the only thing that messed up was the audio from or the microphones from their talks. But they're pros, so they rolled with it and they delivered with power too. Angie, thank you for being you. Tom, kind of the silent guy. No, not Tom, Tim. So see, I did it again. I know I put Tom on his name badge, and it was Tim. He pointed out that it was Tim. So Tim, thank you for your support, man, and for what you did. Um, Giovanni, thank you. Anne Marie, oh, Anne Marie, thank you for your share on day two and for being the black sheep and going through what you've gone through. And yeah, it's just so good to see you again. And I can't wait to see you again and again in the future. Uh Ken and Mary. Yeah, Ken Altenbach, man. My guy was like the enforcer, right? Super cool. It was lovely to meet you and your beautiful bride, Mary. So thank you for being with us. I want to thank Steve D. Appreciate you. It looks like you hung out with Steve this morning as we're recording this on a Tuesday. I'm like, what day is it? Tuesday. So shout out to you, the Pettits, Linda, Bill. Thank you for being here. Acknowledge you. We're rolling. We're getting there. We're getting there, folks. I promise. Greg Berg, great to see you. Great to actually see you again because I think you were at the first one, or if you weren't, then I know I've seen you. Yeah, you were in the book, and I saw you enough in online. This woman, Monica. I don't know you, Monica, so sorry. Uh, Richard Daron. Yeah, I saw you at the event, but I don't think we actually had a chance to connect. And Mike and Paula Ryan, thank y'all. Appreciate you. Brandon Bennett. Ooh, I don't know you, man, but good to see you. Thank you. Oh yeah, I mentioned Jason and your wife, Alisa. Yeah, she showed up on day two and she was really nice. Greg Lim, awesome dude. Ken and Robin Crenshaw, thank you. Seth Pepper, great to see you, my man. Megan, my dude, BT. Oh, thank you for the kind words. Thank you for your acknowledgement of me. After day two, we had some moments, and I'm glad that you're finding your space here with us and being able to do what you do for people in their fitness. Gam Gam, Nadine, always so fun to see you. April and Paul Dodd, anybody who saw me on day two, right? This is me as April's Secret Service guy. I'm her enforcer. And Paul, I won't be cycling anytime soon, but you can do all the miles for me. Appreciate you. I believe Nila was here. Lisa, yeah, I mentioned Candace. Yeah, Heather and Mark, thank y'all. Much appreciated. Acknowledge you. Craig Gore, love the cowboy hats. Great to see you, man. Rebecca, awesome to see you again. Cheryl Martin, so happy to see you. Wendy, Bert, my man, Al. Some people may call him Albert in a can. I can just call him Bert, but not Ernie. Stacy. Stacy, thank you for being here with us. My lady Jen Walter, the best laugh in the world, the greatest laugh. If you haven't heard her laugh, make her laugh somehow. Tell her a corny dad joke or something. It's I promise it'll change your life when you hear her laugh. It's one of the best things in the world. Uh Swimming Katie, I thank you for attending. I'm sorry I didn't see you. Roseanne, enjoy the book. She knows what I'm talking about. I'll share more about that another time if you guys want to hear it. John Holman, great to see you. The Juneha family, and I apologize if I botch your name. So um, I'll just say that for the family. I don't want to disrespect or botch your names, but the mother with the two kids who were there, thank you, appreciate you. Yeah, Shana was there. Luke, thanks for showing up on day two, man. Appreciate you, mate. Hey, look who here to table 17. Is this somebody named Allison Kurt? Hmm. Yes, thank you. Appreciate you. Dinah, Lawrence, appreciate you. Terrific Tom, Kristen, Marat, Eric and Stacy Mayfield, thank you. Acknowledge you. Brad Maylor, Chris Morrison, my man with the salmon coat. I saw you dancing to Bruno Mars, so you good guy. Jerry Naranjo and your wife, appreciate you. Oh yeah, Leanne Parrish. You just had me thinking of Brenda. Brenda, shoot, what's her last name? Rayner, yes. Um, yeah, they were just so nice. They were so friendly to me at the registration table, so I appreciate y'all. Um, Karen and Ryan Sandstrom. Kathleen Peterson Lane, thank you. Susan Sutherland, appreciate you. Renata, thank you for the rock. I'm sorry I don't have it in my hand, but it's in my room, and I just appreciate what it took for you to get here and the miracles that had to happen for us to create you to get into this room. Um, Lindsay Smith, sorry that I mean, we kind of had our one-on-one. We had our own little connection bingo. We were matched up, and it was her birthday the week before. And I was trying to set up a birthday party, like, hey, let's meet, let's have a birthday like party, but it didn't happen. But it's all right. We got to meet, so that's all good. My brother Wolfgang, my man with the conscious breath. Thank you for who you are. Sonia, so good to see you again. Oh, and I can't remember this lady's name. Oh yeah, Carrie. So that so I'll give you a quick context of that, right? So I mentioned the night before the pregame where we were doing the blessing and everybody's sitting around or standing around. Jim Wilcher is next to her and he's acknowledging her, he's sharing some powerful things. And then he turns to her and he says, would you tell me your name again? Right? He said all these beautiful things and didn't know her name. And so for the rest of the event, I was like, it's Carrie, right? So that if you saw me do that, that's me just messing with her. And in my mind, I thought he was going to propose because it had that moment. He was like, I think you're a wonderful woman. I don't remember exactly what he said, but it just had like that feel. I'm like, is he going to drop down on his knee? Like, this is the thought going through my head. Like, this is how wacky I am. But he just went and said, like, oh, I don't know your name, Jim, bruh. Come on, man. But it's all right because I'm botching a bunch of names that I don't remember a name or know right now. Craig Taylor, thank you for joining us. Margie, I messed it up. It's all right. You know who you are. I appreciate you, and I'm so glad that you got a chance to speak. I think Karen V was here. Amy, wait, thank you for being here. Oh, Christy, Melissa, awesome. Derek Williams, man, thank you for what you shared on the mic on day two. Yeah, that was I can't remember exactly what it was about, but I know it was something along the lines of like you weren't, or maybe I confused you with somebody else, like you weren't gonna be here or you weren't gonna come to the event. So if I messed up your thing, then sorry, apologies. Latrina, great to see you. Yeah, the CVS lady is we all know her from the book. And my lady JC, Joan Claire, always awesome to see you. So uh yeah, I mentioned Rayfall already, and quick story about Rayfall. He's really the one who kind of set all of this in motion with the six pack ride because Steve had picked him to be the person back in 2021 to be the lone rider, the lone driver with him to his event. All right, much appreciated, Liz. Thank you. Um, he was supposed to be there, but because of his faith and his background, he couldn't make that trip on the Sabbath, so that's how the six pack got involved. So Judy and my brother Xavier Marine, they were part of that too. And from those two, myself and Julie Westover, we became the Fantastic Four. Listen, just stay with the numbers. And then that's how that first event got rolling with the four of us igniting that. Let me just acknowledge some of the staff that I might have missed. Zach Abbott's, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Jenny Edwards, yes. What a fun photo booth. What a fun way for you to just create us through our document. Thank you for that. Patricia Henry, love you. Appreciate you. Celeste, it was awesome to see you. Awesome to meet you. You're the pajama mama. Oh, I'm the worst. I'm vicious. And who else is on the sheet? I already mentioned Sammy and his team. All right, I'm just rolling through the actual seating chart. I'm making sure I didn't miss anybody that needs to be acknowledged. I think I pretty much got everybody. Oh, Dorothy Decker, missed you. I'm sorry. If there was an Eric DePaz there, then yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Sorry if I missed you earlier. Lisa, Lauren McNern, yeah, already mentioned you. Yeah, we good. Brrr. You good?
Did you get Bobby Chandler?
Of course I didn't, because why would I? Man,
Forget.
Bobby, yes. Thank you for that. Yeah, Bobby, what a whew. I told him afterwards that, man, you threw a curveball to me, man, because I mentioned like the whole, like with the song you're about to sing from Alice in Chain. I'm like, oh, we singing down the hole. I'm ready for this. I noticed. And then he sings Nutshell. I'm like, dude, that's like the one song I don't know from them. But funny enough, today, I'm on the pickup line at my kid's school. It's 3:16, and all of a sudden on like my Spotify mix, just a random rock mix, that song comes on. I take a picture of it, message him on Facebook. He's like, "Oh, let's go!" And so me and him are gonna be talking a lot about music and just life in general. And it was yeah, he had a really powerful moment on stage in the day one. So thank you for being our special guest, man. We acknowledge you. Uh, okay. Kate Hertzwicker. I know the name and I can't think of who you are, but I know you. So I'm sorry if I'm like fuzzy right now as a lot of people, but I appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of this. Yeah, this is how we're rolling. I think I did this. I don't know if it's 250 names. Reva Taylor. That was Craig's guess. So sorry I didn't say your name earlier, but thank you for being with us. Yeah. Okay, Jenny and Nyan. Yeah, appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here with us. Yeah, I mentioned Christy, yeah, KT, as she likes to go by. So thank you for being with us. And oh yeah, Gracie Myers, appreciate you. Thank you. And I think we did it. I think it's done. Toast. Um,
Congratulations. That was amazing.
that was good job. So yeah, for everyone who was there, I thank you. Um, and I'll go Snoop Dogg style real quick. I want to thank me. I thank
Yeah,
me for showing up.
awesome. I was
Yeah.
just gonna say that.
Thank me for kicking this off, for my commitment to serving and being everywhere. Anytime, like, I don't know, I had like a Sammy radar. Anytime I kind of sensed her in my presence, I was just going over to help her, not like out of guilt, like, oh my goodness, can you forgive me? But like I know how crazy that these types of events are, and any type of help, any kind of relief you can get, I think is always appreciated from somebody just to have a hand. So I'm just honored that I was a part of the first one and had the chance to be a part of the second one, both times from the stage, sharing, amplifying things, and I hope that my intention there was just to set the tone, right? And I told y'all that this weekend you were going to be there to take a powerful stand, and you did that. And I can't be more proud. This is definitely like a feather in my cap. I can take this to the grave and say, hey, I made a difference. If I didn't do anything else in my life, I made a difference for these 2 days along with the rest of y'all. So much appreciated. And I want to just give a special shout out to my wife, my lady Sarah. Without her support, without her belief in me, without her challenging me and seeing different possibilities for myself, that wouldn't happen. I would have like shown up small and played small, and that's not what this event's about. It's about just simply being with people, being with ourselves. And for that, I can never say I love you enough, right? I just can't, because she means everything to me. So all that said and done, as you get mushy now, right? Bring up the tears. But yeah, this is an amazing event, amazing moment of time that we all can put in our time capsules and recognize for ourselves. And we were here. We were here, hopefully engaged. Hopefully nobody took too many $1 million tinkles as I mentioned, but I was one of them. Like, I gotta go. I can't hold anymore. Um, gosh, let me just take a second to think if there's anybody that I potentially missed. I think I got.
Smith.
Yeah, I mentioned Chris Smith before. Yeah, yeah. His
or tinkle.
I never heard him speak before, and I'm really glad that he was a part of this. He was fabulous, like
Yeah.
really, really terrific. So I think that's it. Yeah. I think in this stage, this 2UE acknowledgement is complete. This is like the longest podcast episode ever that I'm gonna be putting out on Thursday. Well, yeah, on Thursday morning. So that'll be 11 episode 1177, which is gonna be really cool for everyone out there because we're all about the numbers. So I'm gonna wrap this up in a second, but just wanted to get your final thoughts. Like what's present for you as you kind of heard all these acknowledgments and kind of saw how my mind operated and worked.
I think you did awesome. I mean, the whole event was just totally amazing. Some people are like, set your intention for the weekend, and I
Yeah.
just was showing up empty, and everybody just poured in and just filled my cup. Like it was just unlike any other space. It was just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, technology, for that. And yeah, I think, from Judy's vision and everybody who was involved with planning and creating, yeah, this is like a second to none type of event. And I'm really excited for next year. It's gonna be 3 days. So oh my God. So you talk
Oh my
about
God.
showing up empty. You better like get an enema. You better flush. You better detox. You better fast for like a week or 2 weeks before that because
Sleep for a week.
yeah,
Yeah.
That was powerful. I could have slept for a month after that event.
I know
yeah,
I'm exhausted. I'm just like, oh, I'm so tired, but it's like so transformative. Like
yeah,
so much that happened. It was amazing.
And it
absolutely.
all started with one question. So thank you also to Jacob.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. We cannot forget about hella sketchy. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy how many things had to happen and were happening,
Yeah.
continue to happen to make this type of event happen. If his life isn't lost, right? Judy doesn't write this book. Judy doesn't write this book. She doesn't send this message out to Steve. She doesn't get picked for the six pack back to Rayfall. If he declines, she's not a part of it. She doesn't hit send to that message to Steve. Then he doesn't say yes to being a part of the ultimate. Like, you know what I mean? She calls me. We have a conversation. She doesn't enroll me. I don't get involved and do like all these freaking crazy things having to happen.
The
And
domino effect from one person's life and all those 250 people that were affected in the room and how they touch everyone in their lives. It's just unbelievable when you think of it like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Plus all the recipients, who are going to be receiving their life and the opportunity after being rescued from sex
yeah,
trafficking.
that's right. Where I was about to close out with that. Just thinking about these kids, whether they're young or teenagers, right? Of their path to being restored, right? Having their humanity kind of rebuilt into them, reinvented, and their families, and just all of them to have grace with each other, um, have an upgraded way of being with each other because I've never been through a situation like that, but I can't imagine what that's like to come back to a normal life after something so traumatic and wild. And yeah, some we did good. So we could take that to the bank. We did some honest duty and honestly, this doesn't stop for me, right? No matter what I'm gonna be a part of, whether it's this event or other events, this is a cause that I'm gonna stand behind for, till it's over. So on that note, I'm gonna close out. Thank you for being a part of this with me. Anybody who's watching this, if I said your name, thank you. And if I forgot your name, sorry, my bad. All right, it happens. You can DM me, you can message me, you can leave a nasty note if you want to. It's okay. I'm a big boy, I can take it. But just know that I love you, I appreciate you, and till next time.